Breach of contract claims arise quite a bit in business operations. They can be anything from small to large. Oftentimes, there are issues that arise that aren't contemplated by the contract that cause a party to not fulfill their obligations. Sometimes it's intentional, sometimes it's accidental, but the effect of it is the same, that whatever bargain you've entered into, you're not at law getting what we call the benefit of that bargain in the time and in the manner which you contracted for. So if you yourself have breached the contract, you are likely to get a claim, probably in court, but certainly some legal claim that comes to you that says you did not fulfill your contractual obligations. And then there is a debate over whether that contract covered that matter. There is a debate over whether you actually did that or not. And so, in all honesty, you're probably going to need an attorney to help you work that through, because if your business relations with the party alleging breach were good in the first place, you probably wouldn't be to the point where you're concerned about contacting a lawyer about the breach. You would have resolved it. If, on the other hand, there's an allegation that you breached the contract, and there may be circumstances why, or maybe you didn't, the situation is the same. By the time you get to the point where you're calling me, you would have probably already exhausted other avenues to try to remedy that situation. So the issue is, when you're alleged to have breached a contract, or if you believe somebody's breaching a contract, it's a good idea to see a lawyer. You may not pursue litigation. You may just want to get insight as to how to resolve that. And sometimes people come to me not so much because they want to litigate an issue of a breach or perceived breach, but because they want to know how should they approach the other party in a way that tries to remedy and resolve the situation. Litigation is very expensive, and it's also very emotional, and people often underestimate the emotional side of litigation. The goal of a good lawyer is to avoid you going to court. Now, sometimes you have to, and then you need a litigator like myself. But the goal generally should be to try to avoid getting to court. Oftentimes, seeing a lawyer very early in the process, when you're merely alleging or having been alleged to have engaged in a breach, is a good way to ensure that later on down the road, you're not coming to me because you're responding to a lawsuit.